Hello everyone, Genghis here for some more actual commentating stuff. Just note real quick before we start this, please remember I need replays from your clans. Check the description of this video if you want to know exactly how to send them. And yeah, basically these games were already streamed and they're actually going to be put on YouTube too again in the live recording. This was a stronghold attack between Omni and F15 yesterday night. But we played Cockcraft twice, and I know there's going to be spoilers, but I don't really think that matters. I noticed something in these games which I found really interesting. Basically, both times, we're actually going to go through them pretty fast. And okay, just to make that clear from the start, I'm not actually really going to go into the tactics of both teams and stuff. Just real quick, my opinion, what Omni does is basically like super standard, but solid, with a bit of personal touch, I guess. And what F15 is doing is also pretty standard and also pretty solid, although I would maybe change some of the specific tactics. Well, that doesn't really matter. Anyway, as you can see, Omni has a way more heavy lineup. We are seeing them over here. We decided to push around on this side. Blah, 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 blah. I was not leading these games. Liam was. I was, however, in the second game, which you will see just after this, doing some micromanagement. U100, good sniper, yeah. Which in the first game I did not do at all. But you will see also that later on. So we're pushing around here. We figure the enemy has its mediums over here. Some of them probably got sent back. Heavies here and TDs defending them. And this is where I want to pause it. Actually, as you can see all of the what was actually the orders in the live version, which will come in the next 1, 2, 3 days of a strong attack against F15. But what were the orders for these tanks? Okay, these 50Bs was to stay on the outside here, not enter, this area here in front of him. Let's actually make the map a bit bigger. And just deal with these mediums coming around and basically win that. And also, a bit later on, I'm going to get sent over there to go and help after I take a free shot. I think pretty much now I'm gonna go. I take one shot. Pause again. There is one 50B here. There should be 4 50Bs and a Batchat here. And me, but I'm here. Look at the minimap, because this is exactly what will happen again in the second game. We have a couple of tanks defending base, the Waffles 1, 2, E100, the T22 staying around there. They still have some tanks over here, they have their heavies in this area, and a bunch of mediums over here. Right? Enemy pushes in here. Our 50Bs are all basically on reload, have already lost a bunch of HP, one died. Other 400. I don't know what this force is. Well, also dead in a second. Mine times 4 right now? Times 2. Times 4. Times 2. And from there on, the mediums come around, circle our heavies here, our stuff defending base has to move up over the open, get fragged from hold down side tripping E5s, and we pretty much get wrecked. And the reason I'm actually showing you this, you will basically understand why for the second game, is I was really surprised by the difference this little shit made. And I guess you can kind of see this as a guide to kind of war leading and playing in competitive. So, let's have a look at the second game. Give it 1 second. Well, what if tanks launches a replay? There we go. So, as you can see, Omni is exactly the same setup, only difference is that I'm in a 50B and someone else of the 50Bs is in 100, but we literally have the exact same setup. F15 changed a little bit, taking 2 50Bs instead of mediums, and then the 5 instead of the 263. That's what I would guess. I don't know. If you want, you can do the exact comparison by going back 20 seconds in the video, but basically same setup, 1 E3 for them, bunch of E5 which are going to stay based. And we're going to do the exact same opening. Yeah, both teams are literally going to start the same way, as you will see. Our 50B is positioned over here at the beginning, our T22 goes spot down here, the Batchat goes spot over here, we have 3 100s over here to defend against the south, a couple of 100s here pushing. maybe we react like 5 seconds faster. The only difference is that I'm kind of micromanaging the 50Bs, and they got yelled at after the first game to not do that retarded shit of going in there when they're told not to. And that's pretty much it. So we're gonna stay low with all of the 50Bs. Also, I don't remember exactly, but remember last game we lost like 15 to 10 or something like that? Would be my guess right now. And again, 1E100 comes to join us. I guess you could claim that he is full life, whereas last game I was on 1000 HP, but the differences between the two games are as small as you get in any World of Tanks competitive play, unless you're, actively trying to get the same. Again, enemy over here has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tanks, 2 50Bs, 2 TVPs, a Batchat. I think 1, 2 mediums are going to come back later. Basically the same as last game. Last game they maybe had 1 tank more, but they all already had taken some damage, so basically it's the same. And again, Omni has 1 Batchat, 4 50Bs, and 1 E100 who isn't even here yet. Last game he was actually here, even if he was damaged. But the 50Bs are in their positions. Dead. 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 And dead. No, I'm not dead actually, but whatever, you get my point. We all turn around. Reload. The 5 are pushing towards us, but we now have Liam and his E100 here. He's going to take the front line. We reload. Turn back around. We are completely ignoring any side shots we could have on this, because what matters is to get this around over here and not lose a flank, which is what the order from Liam is, literally. And which was also the order in the first game. Dead, dead, dead. And I guess not dead. Oh, I missed some. Okay. I'm just gonna say look at the score. I mean, obviously there could be that there's some other small differences, of the exact positioning over here, and maybe some RNG pins here or there, which happened this game or didn't last game, or the other way around and stuff. But this was as close as you get to 2 same games in basically a row. There was 1 game on another map in between, right? Do I die to that T22? Anyway, we win 15-1, 2, I think. 15-1. We lost the first one. Right, let's just go. That brightness is destroying my eyes. Okay. We lost the first one like 15-10 or something. Like, completely different result. And when I saw this, I was shocked. I mean, I knew we lost the first game because of the misreactions of our 50Bs and stupid plays from them, right? But I expected... what I saw is that kind of difference between doing your job and half doing your job or quarter doing your job is maybe the difference between a 15-10 win and a 15-10 loss. Not the difference between a 15-10 win, 15-10 loss and a 15-1 or 2. I even think one of the kills was... yeah, I got team killed. 15-1 win. I got team killed right there. Now, as a player, what is your job in competitive play? It is not only to pen your shots and do what the WOT tells you. Well, first of all, it is to do what the WOT tells you. Unless, obviously, he's not giving you any orders. Can I explain this? For example, I know, at the first minute of the game, the WOT tells you, go scout over here with your Batchat, right? 5 minutes later, you haven't gotten a new order, the WOT is busy fighting over here or whatever. Obviously, use your brain cells and go in. But if your order is, go down here, stay on the lower road, then you go down there and stay on the lower road. If your order is, go here with 3-100 and side script towards this, you go there and side script towards this. And if the orders don't go in this road, you don't go in that road. Or if the order is, stay here and side script, you're not going to push in here. As long as the order was recent and didn't get, counterplayed, or it's not completely obvious that there's no point to side script anymore, because all the tanks here were spotted going back. As a war lead, your job in this kind of situation, if you see your players not doing what they're told, can be to shout at them. I know, this is a pretty complicated topic for me, but I'm not actually a fan of yelling at people in general. And what I really don't like is raging, even though I do it myself sometimes and I'm aware of it, uselessly, like after games, for example. After games, raging at players, oh my god, you're so retarded. I mean, if it's for like 10 seconds, oh my god, you're so retarded, players, you lost us a game, that's fine with me. But people who are going to rant for 2 minutes, I just don't see a point in that. But in a game, if people are not listening to orders and you're the war lead, do not complain about it afterwards. If you want, you can. It's your right. But your job is not only to give orders, but to make sure they are followed. And if that means that you have to shout at the people and tell them they're retards, I can just give you another example of the same stronghold if you watch the full video, which is going to come out tomorrow, or, in 2 days. On Miravanka, there is literally a situation where I tell a fucking E5 to press A to turn to the left. Because I told him 3 times to turn to the left and he didn't listen to me. So I shouted at him and said, press the A key on your fucking keyboard. Insultingly. And it worked. Because that way, instead of driving straight where he shouldn't have been going, he drove to the left, and not saying it made the difference between a win and loss, but it made the difference between him not doing what he should have been doing and him doing what he should have been doing. Which is what makes the difference between a win and a loss. This is also making sure orders as a war lead are followed. The job of people who, in a clan, a team, a group, have what I'm going to call natural authority. For example, the commander of a clan, or other war leads which are not actually leading at this point. Now, I'm not saying, overrule the order of a war lead, unless it's very obvious or whatever. It's always subject to change, to the situation. But if you're a war lead and you're in the 50B group, like I was this game, then your job is to make sure that the 50Bs are doing what the war lead wants them to do. At least a certain way. And it can even be just, it's no secret. Some people are quiet, shy, and stay in the back and just kind of do what they're told and don't talk much. And some people are a bit more aggressive and like to talk a lot and stuff. And if you do that, that's great. But when you're in a skirmish, you shouldn't be talking about, the food you've been having or the girl you've been dating. But maybe make sure that people are doing what you meant to do. And that is really your job as a player. Because to go back to the first game, we had 450Bs here. And as you remember, one was like over here, and the 3 others were doing retarded shit over here. One was in the correct position, or maybe 1.5, I'm not quite sure. And then after the game, the one guy was like, well, I was there where I should have been, but I was on my own. That's great. You did your job. But if you see that the other 50Bs are not doing what they're meant to do, you can either, if you're not sure about yourself, ask the war lead, Liam, shouldn't we all be here? And then he says yes, and actually notices what's happening. And, gives you the input you need. 50Bs all group up over there again, please. Or, if you're, certain of that's what the 50Bs should be doing, you literally call out to the other 50Bs, even by name, and get them to come back here. And these kind of differences are really, really hard to notice because they're really small. And they're even harder to notice when you're not actually playing or leading, you're just watching a video. Even if you have the TeamSpeak sounds, and they are completely impossible to notice in all honesty, if you're watching a replay solely without the input, because all you see is 50Bs going there, but you don't know if they're meant to or not, and what the actual order, what the plan was, and so on, was it the warrior's fault, the player's fault, shitty tactic or whatever. And this is probably also one of the biggest differences between top and not so top clans. Both people listening to orders more, in most cases, and more than that, even people understanding the orders. Might sound a bit retarded, but that's kind of how I feel about that. Understanding the order, how to follow it, and how to adapt an order, basically. Obviously, there are exceptions in every clan. I know this was a lot of talking, and it was very unclear of a video and not a lot of action. Well, I guess you did see 2 replays, but at the end I was just pausing and talking. But I was like, when I noticed this, when we finished the second game with exactly the same tactic and we won 15-1, not 15-5, 15-1, I was fucking surprised. Like, I was out of my mind. Oh, no, not out of my mind, but mind blown. And I just figured I I don't know, I have to talk about this and really share this with you. And yeah, basically the message I'm trying to give over here is don't blame, because 99% of the time in Clan Wars or Skirmish, you, whether you are the war lead, a player, or some guy who's not actually leading but has some authority for whatever reason, could have changed stuff most of the time. Obviously, there are free losses where the enemy just has a counter tactic. I don't know, you go for cap rush, they camp with 10 E100s, right? The war lead or the players, unless you get super lucky or you have 10 times better players, aren't going to change anything. They have E100s, you're rushing into them with mediums, game over, point. Or you camp and they bring 5 RTs, 10 batchets on Mainovka, right? Sure, you can get lucky, but normally you're going to be fucked. Know me out of it, and that's okay. But in a lot of games, it really comes out to those small differences. The differences between when 2 mediums are sent away somewhere. Do 2 go, or does a third one go? And that is the kind of stuff which also happens in Omni and drives me completely crazy. Like when I actually call people out by name and say you and you go there, and then there's a third retard following. I get mad. But anyway, we're getting off topic here. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Please give me comments about whether this video was kind of worth making a video about, or if you're like, what the fuck, gang, this was boring as fuck. Because I really want to know if you're interested in this kind of content or not. Also, it's definitely gonna stay rare because, I need the opportunity to do it. And, yeah, see you next time.